All right, well, oh, okay, well, whenever you're ready, let me know.
Technology.
Yeah, let me get over here. This is my better side. All right, let me know when everybody's ready. All right, so good morning. Thank y'all for coming. We're excited today about our new open data portal. We're excited for several reasons. First of all, during the campaign, we talked about having an opportunity to create an environment of transparency, but also not just having transparency, but creating an environment where the community, citizens, anybody around the world or around the country had an opportunity to interface with the city of Jackson. And to do that in a way that actually told the story the way that the story should be told, using real data, using data to be able to influence how we get things done, using data to drive discussions, and at the end of the day, using data to improve the city. The other piece of that is we want to be able to create an opportunity for performance management to happen so that we're able to see what's happening inside the city. And the terminology that we used was, we said that we wanted to be able to decrease the gap between what we say that we're doing and what we're actually getting done. And so we decided that we would look at an opportunity to create, first of all, an open data policy. During the course of the campaign, I was asked during an interview, I think it was with the JFP, I was asking in an interview about transparency. And my comment was that transparency is more than just talking about it, but there had to actually be a policy that drove transparency. There had to be policies and procedures that actually made transparency happen. And so we've been working on that. Some of you are part of the governance committee that was put together to determine what those data sets would be. In other words, what are the things that we wanted to report out? We made a commitment that the top 25 data sets that we would make sure that over the next several months that we had the top 25 things that we thought that the governance committee thought was most important, that we'd be able to highlight it. So as a part of that, last summer, we were fortunate enough in the form of receiving expertise from partners like Sunlight Foundation, partners like What Works Cities, Johns Hopkins University as well. We started out by creating an executive order that determined how we go about this process. The council was then engaged, and you've seen the council start to adopt policies that will govern how we do open data as well. Finally, we were able to get to a point where we were doing these internal meetings with internal stakeholders, with department heads. We were actually using data to make decisions, and now we're at a point where we actually have a portal where you all will be able to manipulate this data, create charts, graphs, using the API to create apps if that's something that you want to do. Public Works has gotten engaged. We'll show you how. So there are a lot of the things and questions that you ask concerning what we're doing with infrastructure. We're hoping that we'll be able to answer a lot of those through this particular portal as well. I'll start and just talk to you about two of my favorite things, and then I'll give it to Mr. Justin Bruce, who's actually the brains behind all of this, who has made all of this happen and put Jackson on the fast track to being one of the most sought after cities when it comes to this open data conversation. It is the beginning. Let me say, this is the beginning. Been a lot of conversation lately about transparency in the city of Jackson. You see representatives here from the clerk's office who they've done a yeoman's job of creating one of the most efficient clerk systems that we've seen in the city of Jackson ever, including what we're doing on the administrative side to help to complement that, to create this full body open data conversation. So let me take y'all to my two favorite pieces in this, and the first one is this is our dashboard. We created the dashboard using the 5 things that we talked about when we announced the city's vision. If you see, we talk about the city's mission or vision, transforming the city of Jackson into a destination city that's a leader in innovation, education, infrastructure stability, creating this environment for entrepreneurial endeavors. So let's look at this. We are vibrant. We talk about three things. These are three things that we wanted to be sure that we were really, really talking about in terms of what our particular goals and achievements are and how we wanted to track those. Citizen participation. We're on track based on the goal we've set. We've got a healthcare task force. I've really challenged the healthcare task force to get out, increase the amount of screenings that we're doing, whether we're doing those in churches, in the community at large, or whether it's happening through our own city employees. Thalia Mara Hall, there's been no secret in the great work that's happened there. We are connected, we're prosperous, we're innovative. I wanted to highlight something for you here, which is our early childhood literacy. I think about a year ago, the state passed legislation that said that third graders had to pass a test at the end of third grade in order for them to be promoted. We call that third grade gate. The city of Jackson's response to that was with our 3 child care centers. And our 3 child care centers, we changed the philosophy of those centers to be literacy centers. What we know is that the research tells us is that if a child enters into a 5-year-old program with those emerging literacy skills, then it increases their chance of being able to read at or above grade level by the time they reach third grade. And so the data that we always hear about counting jail beds for jails at the end of third grade based on tests, then we flipped that. Now we're counting how many jobs we'll actually need because the data suggests such a great increase in the amount of young people who are graduating from high school if they're reading at or above grade level. So we challenged our folks, and when we challenged them, to increase the amount of children who have those emerging literacy skills. If you notice, we have a 33% increase, but unfortunately, that's not spread across all 3 of our child care centers. We've seen a 60% increase at the West Side Center and only a 6% increase at the Jones Center. That lets us know that there's work to do. It lets me know when I'm looking at this dashboard, whether it's on my cell phone or if it's on my iPad, then I'm able to ask the kinds of questions that drive the kind of innovation that we want to see happen and improvement that we want to see happen. The other thing that's important is this conversation on crime. You all have been around, you've seen what's been going on with crime, you've seen what's happened. This gives us a track, it's from fiscal year to fiscal year. So this doesn't give us January to April, it gives us October until this point. And if you look at it, Justin, you might have to help me a little bit here. I want to be able to show them the chart. There it is, that's Florida data, thank you. All right, I got it. All right, there it is. I think I messed you up. All right. All right. So this gives you an opportunity to see real time exactly what's happened. You can see this chart, watch the trend data, and it can show you what we've been able to do with crime. You can see where this spike started, and exactly what happened when it did so. We talk about everything from violent crimes to property crimes to homicides. And so, of course, this data isn't right. We don't have 26 homicides, but it gives you an opportunity to really see what's going on. We don't have 26 homicides for 2016, but 26 homicides from the October, which was the start of the fiscal year, until right now. So you're able to see it, you're able to track it, you're able to know exactly what's going on. Let's show them Justin by precinct and how they're able to look at that. Uh-oh. It's coming up, pop up in a minute, I guess. All right. All right.
I'm not sure if this one is broken down by precinct or if it's just broken down by each offense.
All right, but what it does is it gives you each offense, and it tells you where we are. And again, this is from fiscal year until now. This particular table, if you want to, you can download it, you can embed it, you can use the API to create your own apps. You can either go up here and do visualizations, whether you want to use columns, whatever you want to do with it, it gives you the opportunity to be able to manipulate it in that manner. So we're excited about the dashboard, but what we're also excited about is being able to do, again, one of the other campaign promises, which was give people an opportunity to see what's going on with this infrastructure work. And what we said was we wanted people to be able to go look live time, what's happening, what we're doing, how it's being done. You can look by project type. You can look and see by what ward you're in, the work that's happening in each ward. You can look and see even per project what stage those particular projects are in. Here is a street. I think this is Mega Evers. So it shows you the project for Mega Evers. It gives you a budget for Mega Evers. And it shows you what stage it's in. Let me give you one that's we know is happening. Give me an example. What's one we know is going on right now? Remember which one we talked about? Hanging Moss. All right. All right. So Hanging Moss. Here's Hanging Moss. It gives a description of the project, shows you what the budget is, design completion. It shows you the phase that it's in. At this point, it's in the construction phase. Here's your picture of it. You can actually go and map it. Two very important things is that the project is on budget and the project is on schedule. And so you're able to see that live time as it is happening. I ain't even touched that. It just knew I was going to do it, huh? All right. Then also, say we're looking at Operation Orange Cone. All right, if we're looking at Operation Orange Cone, is this street resurfacing one that we can look at?
Look at utility cut repair.
Utility cut repair, all right. So utility cut repair, it gives a budget on that as well. Can I look at those, that big list of projects, Justin? All projects, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, here we go. All right, so all projects. And all of this is 1% stuff. Okay, so all of this is 1% stuff. You're able to see what the 1% stuff is looking like. And again, this is just the beginning. This is just year one stuff. We haven't even uploaded year two yet. I think we're a few weeks out from having all of year two projects uploaded on here where you can see again the work that's happening and how we're getting it done. I'm going to ask Mr. Bruce if he'd come and talk a little bit more about the smart stuff, talk just a little bit about what's happening with this open data catalog, and then I want you to talk a little bit about 311 as well, so that people can see how that works. Mr. Bruce?
Thank you. Well, as Mayor Yarborough mentioned, we've been attempting to do quite a bit of work here to get quite a bit of data into our system. Right now, as the mayor mentioned, this is our launching stage, so it is just the beginning. But any citizen in the city of Jackson that has access to internet, has access to a mobile device that has internet capabilities, can access any page that we've seen today. It's completely public. It's completely out there for their benefit. One of the cool features of the site is that just like any other data platform, or like we've done things in the past, we will give information to our citizens, say for instance on our website. You can go on the website and you can see a PDF of our information. The only thing about a PDF is that It's not easily changed. In fact, it's put in a format so that you can't change it. That's why it's in PDF. The information we're uploading to our site is actually going to be represented in a flat file that gives you the opportunity to see that data in all of its glory. Nothing spectacular when you look at it at first, but the great thing about it is this data is now in your hands. You can do whatever you want with it. You can make visualizations. You can map it if it's got location data. You can chart it, graph it. You can filter it by type, you can even filter it by who it was submitted to or the category in which the claim or the information is coming in. They're an unlimited way.
What if I want to see how many potholes have been called in?
I would take you to what I call the 311 data lens. And I'll actually access that through the main page because it's one of our main apps on our main page. One of the big things that we face here in the city of Jackson is kind of a high level of activity with our 311 center. So one of the things we wanted to be able to do was give our citizens access to 311 data. So say for instance, you called in a claim. I don't know what you called in about. Maybe it was a sewer line that popped in the back of your home. You would have the ability to come into our 311 data lens and actually see your ticket. You could search it by address. You could even come down here and find the type of issue it was and click sewer and find your information. But to answer the mayor's question about pothole repair, I've got a system here, there we go. A system here that will let me drill down all the way to the type of issue that I'm facing.
Okay.
Thank you. For some reason my finger is not
Mine either.
skinny enough to get there.
And I'm on.
So, if I wanted to see every single request that's come through 311 for pothole repair, the only thing I have to do is select pothole repair. And it's going to show me all 10,000 city service requests that have come in for pothole repair.
10,000?
All 10,000. To be exact, 10,042.
Since when?
This is back since the beginning of 311. So this is since 2011. So we've got all of our 311 data in here that shows us.
I thought you had 10,000 since October.
Now
No.
that would have been a little extreme.
No.
But
Yeah.
it shows you how many pothole repairs have come in. You as a citizen, or me now since I'm running it, can see how many of those calls are closed, how many of them are open, how many of them are pending, and also how many of them have been canceled based on duplication or duplicate tickets. So it really gives you the opportunity for whatever issue you have, whatever item you have, whatever category or description or service type, specifically for 311. And this is not just specific to 311. It's specific to any type of data that allows us to drill down by category, by type, by description. And it gives you the opportunity to come in here and find all the information that you're really looking for. And so I don't want to take up too much of your time. I would invite you all to definitely check out the site. It's got some really, really cool functionality. But at this time, I'll just turn over to you guys and let you guys kind of answer some questions, and we can make sure you know what you want to know.
Did any of you have any questions about the portal? We have to keep it on that topic because the mayor has to leave for another appointment.
How often is the information updated?
It depends on the data set. Community improvement data, for instance, is updated weekly. Crime data is updated monthly. I've got data sets in here that are actually updated daily. 311 is within the next 23 days will be one of those sets that's updated actually daily because we'll be directly connected to their system. So it really depends on the data, how often it's available and how often it's updated. We'll update every time that data's fresh. Because we don't want you looking at a dashboard that doesn't have live data, that doesn't have real fresh data. So it's updated regularly. And actually you can look at the, when you're looking at the data, if you click into one of these, it'll actually show you, let's look at this, it'll actually show you when the last update of that data was. So it'll say this is current as of March 2016.
Who's in charge of running this? And
Justin?
you doing it all by yourself?
Unfortunately, I'm just playing. Yeah, it's definitely a burden of love. We under the What Works Cities engagement were afforded the opportunity to really take on this stance to create a STAT program and to really do some great things with data analyzation, and really moving us to a data-driven, data-governed type environment. Yeah, the mayor gave me some tasks and some duties to make sure we kept this maintained.
Seems to me this is gonna be an ongoing project.
Absolutely.
All the time, right? And I remember in the meeting you mentioned that you started kind of recently, but you're gonna start building back. Do you have like a schedule for, goals for yourself, just to make, it's a lot of info.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's okay for me to say that there is definitely a need on my side. My goal is to start with the larger departments. That's PD, fire, and public works, getting their information in, as much relevant information that they have into the system and updated in a way that actually makes sense to citizens, and in a way that's actually going to benefit the way citizens' lives are lived out. And from there, we'll build on the smaller departments. But kind of as you mentioned in our meeting, my greatest crutch is that I don't get to say this is a priority for Justin. That governance committee that's been created has all the authority to tell Justin, I know you like this data over here in Public Works, but we would much rather you upload this data here in Parks and Rec. So whatever the case may be that they've decided.
Okay, is that it?
Is this anywhere connected to y'all business, the Secretary of State's website, any kind of interface material or that you know of? No?
The only state agency that we're pulling data from currently is going to be the Mississippi Department of Revenue, because we're monitoring gross sales tax. We're monitoring how we're doing as far as increasing revenue in the city. And there's not a direct connection. There's more of a, whenever their data is made available, that data is then drafted to the site.
Just one quick one. What percentage of the data is automated and which percentage has to be put in by a person?
Currently, we've got about 25% of the data automated. Most of the data that we're seeing drive, some of our data sets is going to be data that's historically been data that's been created by departments. Over the next 2 months with our engagement with our software portal provider, Socrata, we'll automate up to about 80% of the data. Some of it, of course, will still have to be hand entered, but very seldom amount, very small
Is this
amount.
launched yet?
Mhm,
This
it's
is live.
It's live.
This is live.
All right.
Okay,
Well,
thank you all for
Thank you.
coming.
Ready to break.